What's up guys, Maelstrom here. If you enjoyed then like and subscribe so I can keep on making these awesome videos for you guys. It had been just under 48 hours since Naruto passed out on the bridge, and in that time slot, surprisingly little had happened. With most of the worker heavily injured, though only 3 or 4 dead, there was no one to work in the bridge, and with Naruto still out cold, Sakura still on thin ice with Tsunami, Sasuke constantly training, though not improving much, as he couldn't get his Sharingan to reactivate, and Zabuza and Haku hiding out in Gato's mansion, the country of Wave had been on a basic standstill. Though most of the population was still celebrating the death of Gato, as Tarzuna, Inari and even Kakashi in disguise spreading the news of how Naruto fought off 2 S-class ninja and personally killed Gato and a little under half his thugs. Most of the village was praising the blonde in near godlike status, though Sakura was usually there to tell her version of the fight, where Sasuke single-handedly beat everyone. Thank God no one believed her. Naruto slowly stirred around 6 in the morning, opening his eyes to show the dull shine of blue that his Rinnegan cast. "Man, what hit me?" questioned Naruto as sat up, only to see that he was shirtless and had on a pair of old sweatpants. Several S-rank jutsu, line-laced kunai, and from what I saw, about 8 tails of Kiwabi chakra. Naruto simply stood up and walked towards the door. "Where are you heading?" "What do you think, Kakashi?" "I can only assume that I've been out cold for a day or 2. I'm going to eat shit, and go get my stuff from the bottom of the sea," stated Naruto as he cracked his neck and back. "I already retrieved your things. These seals you use are quite interesting, some sort of reinforcement seal mixed with a chakra conversion seal," stated Kakashi as he held up 7 or 8 scrolls. "Where's my sword?" "I know for a fact I'm the only one who could carry it," stated Naruto. "In the bridge. You must have stabbed it into the bridge after you slaughtered Gato's men," stated Kakashi. Naruto looked at the scrolls and picked one up, unsealing a pair of blue glasses, placing them on, and again walking to the door. "Does Sasuke know exactly who I fought?" "No. He knows you fought 2 S-class ninja, but he doesn't know that you fought Danzo," stated Kakashi, knowing that Sasuke was training and couldn't hear them. "Good. Make sure he doesn't learn about it, otherwise he's going to demand more training." "Unknown cave." "So the Kiwabi Jinchuriki is extremely powerful?" asked Pine, his pale purple eyes shining bright in the darkness of the cave. "Yes, he can use up to 6 tails and remain somewhat in control. He broke my most powerful genjutsu, defeated my Baku and even managed to kill me twice," stated Danzo. Pine seemed to think for a minute before speaking again. "Kakazu, what injuries do you have?" "He destroyed my earth heart, other than that, nothing," stated Kakazu. "Rank his skills with and without Kiwabi chakra." "Without, he has extreme speed. So much so that I'm starting to believe it's a body flicker of some sort, as he moved from about 50 feet away to behind me before I even knew what was going on. He's very strong as well as quick. He was able to dodge my best combos while he was on water and even my tendrils up close," stated Kakazu. Most of the members rose an eyebrow at the thought of fighting someone that fast. "With Kiwabi chakra, his speed is just as great, his strength is monstrous. One punch folded me in half and liquefied my insides. Also, he seems to be immune to genjutsu while using Kiwabi's chakra," stated Danzo. "So Minato's brat is just as bothersome as he was?" "That doesn't surprise me, given his parentage. It seems about right," stated Orochimaru. "Who is his mother?" questioned Sasori. "Kushina the Red Death Uzumaki," stated Danzo. Several sharp inhales and even a gasp was heard when Naruto's full parentage was unveiled. Pine narrowed his eyes. "Konoha is the site for this year's Chunin exams, is it not?" asked Pine. "That's what Toby heard," stated Toby. "Perhaps we should use the event to gain access to the village. If we can get to the Kiwabi during the festivities, perhaps he won't have time to prepare for a fight, and we can catch him off guard," stated Pine. "The Kazekage's son will also be in the exams, but he will be tricky to get to," stated the black half of the plant man known as Zetsu. "Hell, why don't we just attack the Chunin exams? Seems like it would be simpler." Village of Wave. Naruto had eaten, chatted with Tsunami. They had discussed several topics, including his feelings towards her. He then played with Inari, teaching him how to throw knives and use a small sword he had taken from a thug. He then had lunch and was now walking through the village, all the while never changing from the blue sweatpants he had woken up in, giving everyone that saw him a view of his outrageously chiseled torso and arms. "Is that him?" asked one elderly man. "Blonde hair, whisker marks, wearing sunglasses. Looks to be him, stated another older man that had been playing shogi with the first old man. Naruto chuckled quietly to himself as he listened to the various comments from the people he walked by. That's the kid that killed Gato. Has more like a god than a man. I want his children. Okay. That last one freaked him out a little bit. Naruto was caught up in his musings when a small girl walked up to him and pulled his pant leg, gaining his attention. Everyone watched with bated breath as the god that killed Gato descended to a knee, deactivating his Rinnegan and looked into her eyes, taking off his glasses, showing his crystal blue orbs to stare into the young girl. Hello little one, how may I help you? The little girl was somewhat startled that the man had such a kind and caring voice, as was most of the village. Most of them expected him to sound godlike or something. My mommy said that you're the one that got rid of the mean man that killed daddy. Is that true? A look of pain formed on his face. That pudgy little fuck didn't get his fill with killing Kaiza. He killed even more innocent people. Yes, I got rid of him. You won't have to worry about him anymore. You're safe now. The little girl jumped into Naruto's chest, her arms wrapping around in a strong hug as she could muster. Thank you, mister, the young girl cried. Naruto held her close, waiting for her to get it all out of her system. Everyone had stopped and had started watching, smiles on their faces as he comforted the small girl, proving even more that he was the hero everyone was taking about. After a couple of minutes the young girl's crying died down. Naruto held her away from himself. Now what's your name? And are you out here with anyone? And my name is Amy. I came here with my mommy. She's over there. Little Amy pointed to the side of the street where a 20 or so, rather tall woman. Naruto scooped up the small girl and carried her over to her mother. Hello miss, I believe you lost this? Thank you, smiled the mother, who took the small girl from Naruto and held her. Thank you for saving our village. Truthfully miss, I didn't do that much. If it wasn't for Tarzuna, I wouldn't be here, and if it wasn't for my team, I wouldn't have been able to end the tyrant, stated Naruto as he turned to keep moving down the street. Wait, called out the young mother. Naruto halted and looked back to see what the woman wanted. What's your name? Naruto smiled kindly. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. -10 minutes later, bridge. Naruto arrived at the bridge, only to see huge craters and blood still sitting on the deck of the bridge. Amazing, huh? Naruto swiveled his head to see Tarzuna Zabuza cleared all the bodies. Now we just have to clean up the blood and finish the bridge. Unfortunately, my workers are in no shape to finish it. Naruto smiled, and in the next second, 100 Narutos appeared and moved to the bridge, using water-style jutsu to clear the blood and wine chakra to dry everything and remove debris. Just tell my clones what to do and they'll do it. Old man, you really are a hero, my boy, stated Tarzuna as he moved to the bridge. A quickly growing crowd watched in awe as the young man that saved their village multiplied and started to repair the bridge and build it closer and closer to shore. I'm no hero, I was only the one who was in the right place, at the right time, and had the right tools, stated Naruto with a smile before he flashed to his sword, which was right where Kakashi said it was. He then flashed away, the crowd none the wiser he had left. No kid, you are a hero. You're just too good a person to claim it. Gato's mansion. So what are you going to do now? Asked Naruto. Him and Zabuza were standing in front of the giant vault in the back of his mansion. Haku looked through the books. We're taking all the money that Yagura paid the midget and taking it to Kiri to help overthrow the bloodline haters, stated Zabuza. I felt bad about it at first, but once I saw just how much money is in that vault, I thought better of it, stated Haku. So you're off to fight a cage, huh? I think you'll need to get a bit stronger to do that, stated Naruto. You're right kid. I'm high Jonin, but Yagura is mid-cage. I don't really know what to do, but I guess for now I'll just train, stated Zabuza. Naruto pulled a scroll out of his pocket and tossed it to Zabuza. The training equipment I used to get to where I am is in there. Weighted vest, ankle weights, wrist weights and a couple of jutsu you might find useful, stated Naruto. You just never stop, do you kid? Stated Zabuza as he placed the scroll in his pocket. My dream in life is to stop the circle of hatred that covers this world. So far I've only found one solution, and it's not an easy one. I must become the center of hate and despair. If everyone is focused on me, whether it be beside me or against me, it will reduce the amount of hate and slow the cycle, stated Naruto. If you take over Kiri as its new leader, I know you'll lead it well, and back to greatness. When that day comes, You will repay this favor by doing what is necessary to keep peace. Wow, that's deep, kid. When I take over Kiri, I think I'm going to make you an honorary member of Kiri, stated Zabuza before an almost visible light bulb went off in Zabuza's head. He shot over to the desk next to the vault and picked up a small black book with one word in it. I think that should help out some. -2 days later, Bridge. You'll come back, right, Naruto? Asked Inari with tears in his eyes. Naruto struck a thinking pose. Many of the crowd were waiting intently for the answer. Of course I will. Many of the large crowd that surrounded the group of Konoha shinobi cheered for the blonde. It's with great honor that named this bridge after you, Naruto, stated Tarzuna as two of the not-so-injured bridge workers pulled down on a length of rope to unveil a large cross beam that had the great Naruto Uzumaki Namake's bridge inscribed into it. Another cheer sounded throughout the crowd along with a small clap from Kakashi. I would ask you rename the bridge for those who have fallen to Gato, but I know you won't. Thank you for this great honor, stated Naruto as he bowed to the crowd and started to move down the bridge, a brooding Sasuke and a confused Sakura behind him. 2 hours later, it had been a relatively quiet trip back home so far. Kakashi had congratulated Naruto for a job well done and had said that he was almost assured for a promotion, to which Sasuke questioned why Naruto would get a promotion when he wouldn't. Kakashi and Naruto both looked at him like he was retarded and kept moving. Sakura had been near silent the whole way home, which scared the blonde and Scarecrow. She had been thinking where she had heard the name Namake's before. She had asked around in Wave for any information on Uzushio, and was pissed off when everyone answered the same way that both Naruto and Tarzuna had. After coming to grips with the possibility that the Uzumaki might have been a real clan, she started looking into what the Whirlpool clan might have specialized in. She was once again angered when they replied with any elemental techniques and seals. Now she was trying to think of the other part of Naruto's supposed last name, Namake's. Only one other person in the world had that last name, and that was the Yondaime. But Naruto didn't look anything like. No fucking way. Drop the henge, Naruto, shouted Sakura out of the blue. The three males of the group stared at the girl like she had gone crazy. Well, she already was, but that's beside the point. What are you talking about, Haruno? Questioned Naruto, an eyebrow raised above his now blue sunglasses. You're in a henge. How else could you look so much like Yondaime-sama? Accused the pig cat. Hey, finally figured it out, huh? I'm surprised it took so long. Laughed Naruto as he pulled out a kunai and held it up. Sakura scowled at the kunai. It was a replica of the legendary Hirashin kunai. It even had a fake seal. Naruto handed the kunai to Kakashi and said, "Does this look like the Yondaime's kunai?" Kakashi already knew it was, but decided to put on a show for his student. "Yep, even got the seal right," stated Kakashi as he turned and threw the kunai at a tree, only for Naruto to disappear in a flash and reappear, holding the kunai an inch away from the tree. Satisfied, Haruno? Next day, Hokage office. So you then fought off two unknown S rank nin. Kakashi incapacitated Zabuza, Sasuke lost to his apprentice, and then you killed the tyrant Gato? Questioned Sarutobi, making sure to leave out the part about Danzo, lest he have to deal with the damn Uchiha again. Correct, Hokage-sama. I am also recommending Naruto for an unanimous promotion due to his performance in this mission, as well as permission on a private matter involving one of my team, stated Kakashi. Sasuke stood by, brooding so hard that you could actually hear the low growl coming from his throat. Sakura was next to Sasuke, trying her best to gain his attention and failing miserably, while at the same time denying that Naruto was the fourth son, as it would mean that he was more special than Sasuke, which just wasn't possible. Alright, Sasuke, Sakura, you're dismissed. Naruto, if you and Kakashi would please stay, I have something to tell both of you, stated Sarutobi as he ushered both Sasuke and Sakura out the door. Naruto, I'm sorry to inform you of this, but to be promoted to Chunin, you will have to go before the Shinobi Council, though I'm sure that they will allow your promotion after seeing your mission report, stated Sarutobi. Naruto nodded. He already knew there was a high chance of this happening, so that just leaves your issue, Kakashi. Kakashi closed his book, and looked to the aged Cage. I'm going to be blunt, Hokage-sama. Sakura is useless and a hindrance due to her complete lack of skill and her obsession with Sasuke. Sasuke is even more dangerous and is mentally unstable. His drive to kill Danzo is the only thing he cares about, and I'm sure it will come to a fight between him and Naruto. And we both know what will happen if they fought. Sarutobi suddenly had visions of the young Uchiha in about 700 tiny flesh ribbons compressed into a small Sasuke ball. Yes, I could see how that could become a problem. Well, pending investigation, I will disband Team 7, promote Naruto-kun to Chunin, and then perhaps ANB or Hunter Nin. I'm going to need to find a way for Sasuke to be taken off the active shinobi roster along with Miss Haruno without the council going apeshit. Naruto and Kakashi both sweat dropped. Old man, perhaps you wish to rethink that last statement? I know what I said, it was supposed to be a joke, stated Sarutobi. I thought it was rather clever. Hokage-sama, perhaps we should start the process of promoting Naruto? Questioned Kakashi. Yes, Miss Tari. Could you bring me the field promotion forms? Questioned Sarutobi loudly. Of course, Hokage-sama. Oh, hello Naruto, are the one being promoted? Asked the young woman, who had replaced the last secretary that came down with a sudden case of death after trying to kill Naruto. This one was the definition of a bombshell. Long legs, full ass, big chest, brunette, and surprisingly smart. She wore tight black jeans, a blue deep V-cut t-shirt, and sandals similar to the ones that Tsunade the Sannin wore. Hopefully, how have you been? Asked Naruto, thankful that his sunglasses hid his eyes, as he was staring at the young woman's large breast. Oh, I've been alright, a little lonely, but other than that good. Yourself? Asked Tari as she moved to the shelf on the far side of the office. Might be promoted, but you already know that. What are your plans tonight? About an hour later, council room. A little early for the bi-monthly meeting, stated Inoichi. Perhaps we've been selected to host the Chunin exams, stated Heishi. That's not it. If that was the case, the civilians would be here, stated Shikaku. Suddenly, Naruto, Kakashi and Sarutobi flashed into the room, startling the shinobi inside. Sarutobi moved to his spot and Naruto and Kakashi moved to stand in the meeting area in front of the long table. You're half right. So far we're the choice for the Chunin exam, though it is not set in stone, stated Sarutobi as he adjusted himself in his chair. Now for the real reason for this meeting, the promotion of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to Chunin and possibly even to Special Jonin or into ANB or the Hunters Division. Rejected, stated Heishi. Oh, did you're all seeing? I see what happened during the A or more than likely S rank mission we just came back from? Questioned Naruto. He didn't even give time for Heishi to answer before he spoke again. Or perhaps you didn't look at the folder that was placed in front of you when you got here? You should watch your tone, Uzumaki. I'm a high-level Jonin for a reason, threatened Heishi. Sarutobi sat back with a smirk on his face. Now I know you didn't bother to read the contents of that folder in front of you. I beat Zabuza Momoki, and drove off not one, but two S-class criminals in the time span of about 2 weeks. But I suppose that wouldn't mean much. Now would it? Questioned Naruto sarcastically. You do know that it's treason to lie before the council, stated Inoichi in a threatening, becoming tired of the child's lack of respect. You know it's also illegal to slander a clan head with false accusations in a formal meeting, or do you forget that I own more than half of Konoha and that I'm the closest thing to a prince this village has, due to my father being Hokage, my mother being of royal blood and me legally being the grandson of the Shodaime? Before you call me a liar, maybe you should take your old teammate's lead and read the fucking folder that was handed to you on your way in, stated Naruto with killing intent, focused solely on Heishi and Inoichi. The council was in complete silence as they thought over everything the blonde had said and then began reading the contents inside the folder. They were shocked to see an S-rank mission report that had been filled out by both Kakashi Hatake as captain and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as the co-captain and leader of the mission after Kakashi was injured. Still want to call me a liar? Besides, I now have personal information that could be very vital to one of your clans. Seems one of you was working with Gato. Now I'm not going to come out and say it until someone forced my hand, But until then, you know who you are and you should know that I will destroy you should you wish to butt heads with me, stated Naruto as he held up a small black book. Chaozu was the first to speak up. If half the information in this report is true, then you are easily qualified for the promotion. Though I would like a seal master to look at your seal to make sure you didn't damage it in the eight-tailed state, as well as a mental examination. It's troubling to hear that you ripped a man's soul out. I can't imagine one would walk away normal from that, stated Tsume. I just want you to play Shikamaru in a game of shogi to show if you have a strategic enough mind for higher level duties once you reach Jonin, stated the elder Nara. Heishi just nodded, knowing better than to speak again, as anything he said would make him look even more foolish that he had already portrayed. Inoichi did the same as Heishi. Well then Naruto, I'll set your test for tomorrow, and the day after you'll be sent to either ANB or the Hunter Division. Next day, Naruto had aced the mental exam, much to the shock of his examiner Inoichi. He had Sarutobi check the seal. It had loosened a little, but nothing extravagant. Now every Jonin, Chunin and several of the older genin, along with Ino and Choji, were watching Naruto beat several keen minds in the game of shogi. First he faced some nameless Chunin, beating him in 15 moves. Then he faced Guy, who had a surprising amount of skill in setting up complex and quick-hitting battle plans. Naruto beat him in 27 moves. Naruto then faced Kakashi, who showed his incredible intelligence when he had backed Naruto into a corner, right before Naruto started and executed a completely out-of-the-blue diversion attack combo that ended Kakashi before he ever had a chance to build a defense. The next match was against Shikamaru, who Naruto lead straight into a decoy trap and then took the queen and king. Now it was the crown jewel of shogi to face off against the blonde, Shikaku Nara. I must say I'm impressed, kid. You have a great mind, but only one man has ever beat me in shogi, and you're nowhere near him, stated Shikaku, doing his best to start a mind game against the younger blonde, counting on his inexperience and Uzumaki traits to cause him to anger. It seemed to work like a charm. Naruto started off with a power maneuver that shifted the arrangement of his front line into a cone shape. Shikaku continued his taunts, causing the blonde to continue his dangerous, yet risky attacks. Check, stated Shikaku confidently. Though he was about to win, he was amazed that the blonde had played so well, even under emotional distress. It amazes me that the lead strategist of the village would be so blind to a bluff, stated Naruto, his suddenly calm and collected attitude a total 180 from his heated and miscalculating aura he had been putting out not 2 minutes ago. Naruto started moving his pieces in a seemingly erratic pattern. Shikaku found himself helpless as he went from an almost sure win into being on the receiving end of raining blood. The only strategy known that was completely inescapable. How? No one has ever gotten the raining blood on me, stated Shikaku. Every Jonin and most of the Chunin in the room were all speechless. The lead strategist had just gotten stopped by a 13-year-old boy. Easy. You baited me, and I used your strategy against you, all the while making it seem like I was containing anger that wasn't there. Then at the last possible move, I shifted strategies, changed mindsets and left you in the dust. Even the most intelligent man will lose everything to the man that can change moves on a pinhead and has nothing to lose. It has been about 3 months since Naruto had been promoted to Chunin and then became the poster boy of the Utility ANBU Battalion, aka UAB, which is a go-between for the Hokage's personal guard, the Torture and Intelligence Division and the Hunter Nin Division. During his time in UAB, Naruto had done it all, from clearing the C, B, and all but one of the A-ranked criminals from Konoha's Bengal book, extracting information from a few Rouge ninja, and even spent a week as Sarutobi's personal guard, though he didn't like that much, seeing as he had to stay still for about 8 hours at a time. After Naruto's promotion, Team 7 had been put on the reserves list. Sakura and Sasuke both had mental evaluations, standard procedure when anyone under the rank of Jonin participates in an S-rank mission, and the results were shocking to the man who did the evaluations. Sakura was completely and utterly devoted to the Uchiha, and held a deep hatred for Naruto and Kakashi, who she believed held back the Uchiha, but for anyone who was stronger than Sasuke, higher rank than him, or even simply people who she felt got in her way of Sasuke, which was any Kunoichi, teammate or even sensei she had ever had and probably ever would have. Needless to say, Sakura was pulled from the ninja program and forced to have psychiatric help. Sasuke was another story. Sasuke had both an inferiority complex and a superiority complex, meaning that he thought he was God and that his word was law. But anytime anyone proved better than him at anything, or anyone went against him, he became extremely enraged and jealous. He found the Sasuke had a truly one-track mind, and surprisingly, it wasn't for killing Danzo, it was killing anyone that was stronger than him and taking their power for his own. Inoichi had tried to get him pulled from the shinobi program, but was denied, so he settled for placing Sasuke on the inactive list with post-mission distress syndrome, a well-known condition where on high-ranking missions, the stress takes effect and the ninja needs a break from action. Sasuke went along with it, because it meant more time for him to train. Currently, Naruto was once again on guard duty for the Hokage, though through some bribing, he had gotten the outdoor post, which just so happened to be next to Kairatari, the hot young Chunin-level secretary that Naruto had been seeing for about 3 months now. The date he took her on the night he was promoted had gone off without a hitch, and about 2 weeks later they had sex for the first time. Kaira hadn't walked right for a week. When Naruto knew that no one else was around, he continued the conversation they had been having. "So ready for tonight? Seriously, do you ever run out of steam?" "I'm not exactly complaining, but I'm pretty sore, even with the healing jutsu I know," stated Kaira, her arms crossed under her impressive bust. "Hey, not my fault, I'm a human stamina generator and you seemed to like it fine a few nights ago." "Something about an orgasm-induced coma?" stated Naruto cheekily. "I did say that, and I did enjoy it, but I have my limits. And you basically rearranging my internal organs pushed it. Why don't you just get another fuck buddy?" "You know that I don't mind, you do have a clan to rebuild," stated Kaira. She had known about Naruto's clan head status before they even met, due to her helping the old Kage with his paperwork, and she totally supported him having multiple girlfriends. "If I could find someone that could compete with you I would, but you're awesome, and every other girl I talk to ends up wanting to be the only girl in my life." "Not that I can really blame them," stated Naruto. He truly did respect women, which is why he always informed them of his situation before anything serious happened. So far, only Kaira and his actual fiancée had agreed to him having more than one woman in his life. "Well, what about trying to pick up one of the girls coming here for the Chunin exams? They start in 2 weeks," stated Kaira with a smile on her face. "Then again, I could always get you and Echo together." "Yay, she seems nice. Why didn't I think of her?" Naruto questioned himself. Gamma was heard from inside the Hokage's office. In an instant, Naruto slid his mask back over his face and flashed into the Hokage's office, where he saw Sarutobi, Jiraiya and Kakashi. "Impressive Gaki, but couldn't you have chosen a different mask?" "The only one more obvious would be the fox mask," stated Jiraiya. Naruto quickly understood that this wasn't a time he needed his mask and removed it, showing his blue Rinnegan to the room. Multiple small gasps were heard from the other 6 ANBU located in the room, some because they didn't know that Naruto was Gamma, though most were shocked to see him with the legendary Doujutsu. Of course most of ANBU knew about his Rinnegan, because Aiko had one day taken his mask after a flirty comment. Ever since, it had been the talk of ANBU. "I would have picked the fox mask, but there isn't one." "We're already off track." "Naruto, you understand that the Chunin exams are coming up, right?" asked Sarutobi. "Of course, Gigi." "Does this have to do with Sasuke?" questioned Naruto, his arms crossed at the thought of the brooding Uchiha. "Yes and no. Sasuke has passed his re-examination, barely, but he did pass." "Jiraiya will fill you in on the rest," stated Sarutobi. "Orochimaru is planning to attack the Chunin exams, and the information I've gathered say that he's after a certain person that he believes will be competing in the exams," stated Jiraiya. "So Akatsuki is after me, in an event in which they could get to me with minimal outside resistance, most likely during the second exam," stated Naruto. "Maybe Orochimaru has been seen by himself lately. Rumors are he left the Akatsuki and is starting his own army, most likely in a village." "If he's by himself, you are no longer the target," stated Jiraiya. "Then he would be after Anko or a new body." "What kind of person would he be after?" asked Naruto. "Easily manipulated, power-hungry, traitorous." Jiraiya was cut off when Naruto filled in the rest for him. "Bloodline. He's after one of the Uchiha. He wouldn't be stupid enough to go after Itachi, plus he wouldn't know where he is anyway." "That just leaves Sasuke," stated Naruto. "That's where you come in. Sasuke is going to be used as bait to lure out Orochimaru or his minions. I've set it up so that you will be a test taker in the first exam, a proctor in the second exam and a proctor in the third exam," stated Sarutobi. "I request I be able to assemble my own team for the first exam," stated Naruto. "Sorry, but we've already picked the other members, Izumo and Katatsu," stated Sarutobi. Naruto nodded. Who will be Sasuke's team? There's no way that Sakura passed her re-evaluation, and I'm already busy during that time. Question Naruto. I'm signing him up as an add-on to Team Guy. Guy already knows the plan and has agreed to let Sasuke temporarily join the team. It's up to you and Anko, who is proctoring the second exam with you, to decide how he will be participating in the second exam, stated Kakashi, reading the newest of Jiraiya's smut books. Naruto knew that Sarutobi had the same copy in his desk. Alright, so basically I'm going to be babysitting again? Groaned out Naruto. Sarutobi smirked. Yes, and I have a feeling that my grandson will be finding trouble with all the new ninja coming into the village in the next 2 weeks. Keep an eye on him, as well as scouting out any possible spies and any Chunin or Jonin pretending to be Genin. Do I at least get to kill any bingo bookers I see? Asked Naruto. No, son of a bitch. Minus 13 days later, day before the Chunin exams. Naruto was extremely bored. For the last 2 weeks Naruto had met with Anko about the second stage. They ultimately had just wasted time, as they kept everything the same, except Sasuke had to get his own scrolls. After that, Naruto met with Izumo and Katatsu. Once again, nothing had come from the meetings. Naruto was currently watching over Konohamaru and scouring for any spies or fakes in the crowds. So far he found none, though he did have to admit that he found several females that topped his interest. A blonde Suna Genin, along with 2 blondes from Kumo, one a Genin and the other most likely a Jonin instructor. Due to her massive amount of chakra, Naruto's eyes became glued to the scene before him. The Konohamaru Corps has just stumbled across Naruto's old teammate. Hi Sakura, how are you? Asked Moji kindly. I'm fine, how are you? Asked Sakura not so kindly. She knew these kids were Naruto supporters, or like as she called them Sasuke haters. We're good. Have you seen Naruto ni or Iruka-sensei? We're looking for someone to teach us a new jutsu. Asked Tudan. Why wouldn't you want Sasuke to teach you? He's the best ninja in this village, stated Sakura in a matter-of-fact tone. Because Sasuke launched a fireball at us last time we asked him, and Naruto and Iruka-sensei are both Chunin. And my uncle said that Naruto knows both of the fourth's jutsu, stated Konohamaru excitedly. So what? Sasuke has the Sharingan. He's an elite, shouted Sakura, getting many looks confusion from the visiting ninja. Whatever you flat-chested fangirl. If you don't want to help then forget it, stated Konohamaru as the Konohamaru Corps began to walk away. Sakura was seeing red. Those brats dare say that Naruto was a better teacher than Sasuke. Then he dare call her flat-chested? He must die. Konohamaru-kun, run, yelled Moji when she saw Sakura rear her fist back and swing at Konohamaru. Konohamaru ducked the punch and took off in the opposite direction of the enraged ex-Kunoichi. Naruto watched with interest as the young boy and his friends ran for their lives. The 3 children rounded the corner, only for Konohamaru to smack straight into the side of a large black cat man with makeup on his face. Hey you little shit. That hurt, yelled the cat man. You're going to pay for that. Kankuro, put him down. He's just a kid, and from the look of it, he was running from her, stated Temari as she pointed at Sakura, who hadn't moved yet. I don't care. He disrespected me and now he's going to pay, stated the now named Kankuro. He lined his fist up with Konohamaru's face and threw a punch at the small kid. Konohamaru closed his eyes and waited for the punch. He heard a dull thud, but felt no pain. You can't open your eyes now Kono. And you are going to let him down right now. Konohamaru opened his eyes to see a rather large hand holding his assailant's fist about 2 inches away from his nose. He looked over to the man who had stopped the punch, only to see blue eyes and blonde hair. Standing there holding back Kankuro's fist like it was child's play was Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, better known as Gama to most of the shinobi of Konoha and the second Flash. Kankuro was scared shitless. This hulking man had just stopped a punch like it was nothing. Remember from the first few chapters that Naruto was 5'9" and very muscular. Temari, however, was petrified. She knew exactly who this was, as she enjoyed reading the bingo book every once in a while, and the last time she read it she was stuck on one person. Name, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. A rank, village, Konoha. Rank, A and B Chunin. Class, Jinchuriki. Hair, blonde. Eyes, blue. Height, 5'9". Bio, believed to be the son of the Yellow Flash, due to both name and use of the Ajutsu very similar to the Hiraishin. Raised in Konoha until the age of 8. Returned to village after 4 years, highest score of all time in the Konoha Genin exam, surpassing his supposed father and his first sensei, Kakashi Hatake. Affinity S, Wind, Lightning, water, rumored fire skills, taijutsu. High Jonin reportedly fought off 2 S-rank ninja at once. Extremely fast, capable on mimicking Hiraishin with pure speed, also can use Hiraishin with kunai. Extremely powerful, said to have decapitated multiple enemies with one punch to the head. Ninjutsu. Low Jonin High Cage uses jutsu which have no rank. All ninjutsu are based in pure chakra manipulation, knows Rasengan and has added both lightning and wind to it. Holds claim of second largest known chakra levels, behind Kisame Hoshigaki. Genjutsu. Mid-High Jonin uses spur of the moment genjutsu that he matches to surrounding environment. Difficult to detect, due to his massive chakra reserves. Extremely hard to break. Kenjutsu. High Jonin reportedly beat Zabuza Momoki in a sword fight. Finjutsu. Seal Master, rumored to have surpassed Jiraiya in the art of sealing. Intelligence. Genius. Reports state that he has beaten Shikaku Nara in multiple matches. If Shoji ordered capture on site in Kumo, kill on site in Iwa. Kankuro. Get away from him now, cried out Temari, fearing for her brother's life, and even though she knew her brother was in danger, she couldn't help but drool slightly at the torso and bulge on the ANBU. No way, I'm going to teach this punk a lesson, shouted Kankuro as he pulled the bundle off his back. I wouldn't do that, stated Naruto as he moved Konohamaru out of the way. Kankuro don't, he's like Gaara, shouted Temari. Kankuro immediately froze. Temari. Kankuro. Might I ask why you're bothering my brother? Asked an emotionless voice from the tree on the side of the alleyway. Both were relieved that their little brother was there to help them. Temari looked to the tree where Gaara was standing on a branch. To her surprise, Naruto appeared behind him. Hello Shukaku. How's the bloodlust doing? Next day, Sasuke Uchiha strolled into the academy about 45 minutes before the exams was to start, planning on flaunting the fact that 1. He was an Uchiha, 2. He was competing by himself, and finally, thanks to the council, once he became a Chunin, he would be getting training from Jiraiya the Sannin. Little did the Uchiha know, Jiraiya had absolutely no interest in teaching the Uchiha brat, as he called him. Please let us through, was heard as he moved towards a crowd of Chunin hopefuls standing in front of a door that was being blocked by 3 unfamiliar Konoha genin. Trust me, you don't want any part of this exam. You see my teammate? Questioned the tallest of the genin blocking the door as he pointed to the redhead next to him. Yay, what's he going to do? Beat us up if we try going through you? Questioned a Miss Genin with a breathing mask on. No, he's going to show you what happens when you're unprepared for this exam. Bito, go ahead and show the young ones the gift that Iwa Genin gave you, stated the other brunette blocking the door. Bito nodded and opened his mouth slowly. As he opened his mouth, he revealed that there was no teeth or tongue in the front of his mouth. Most of the gathered genin gasped in shock, though a certain Uchiha couldn't stand that all the attention on someone else. Drop the genjutsu. This is only the 2nd floor, stated the Uchiha as if it was obvious. Yao hucking a hit. Hawaii oinoe jahushu, shouted the redhead that was missing a tongue, showing that he really was missing half of his tongue. Man, you said it, Mito. What kind of fucking idiot makes more work for himself by telling everyone they're being fooled by a genjutsu? Questioned the taller one as he let the genjutsu fall, revealing that the room that was labeled 201 was now labeled 301. Yay, now I see why his teammate was promoted and that idiot was put on leave, said the shorter brunette as they all walked up the stairs to the 3rd floor. Was. What did you say? Questioned Sasuke angrily as he activated his Sharingan and followed them. Huck ohia, yawa bitch, stated the redhead as he continued to walk away. Both his teammates just giggled and moved right along with him. You, redhead, fight me, shouted Sasuke. Huck oh, I'd wipe the huckin' lore with you, stated the redhead, not even looking back at him. A few minutes later. Wow Naruto, you're real good with that whole tongueless bit. Where you picked that up? Asked Izumo, still in his henge. Last month Anko landed a senbon in my jaw which paralyzed my tongue. I just mimicked that, stated Naruto, still looking like the redhead. How the hell did that work? You're our top hunter Nin. How did she hit you? Questioned Katatsu. Long story, I'll tell you later. Let's go in, stated Mito. Inside classroom, Naruto and the gate guards appeared in the room and moved to the back corner of the room, where Naruto saw 2 things that immediately had his attention. 1. Kabuto, the one he suspected of being a spy, was chatting with the rookie 9. The second thing he saw was a Kumo nin that he knew for a fact that was on par with him when he didn't choose Kiwabi or the Rinnegan. Jake Srieger, you too, keep an eye on the Suna nins and the Odo nins. I'm going to go investigate some issues, stated Mito, who moved over to the Rookie 9. So you only have information on the people in this room? Questioned Ino. Not exactly. There are a lot of people that I have here that either were promoted in previous exams or just aren't participating due to external factors. If memory serves right, there was a Konoha nin and a Kumo nin that were promoted and either had someone else fill in for them or just aren't participating, stated Kabuto. Who are the ones that aren't participating? Asked Kiba. Let me check. Ah, here we are. The nin from Kumo that isn't participating is Karui, no given name, says she was run through on AB rank and is on injury leave. She was replaced by Jake Srieger, a highly respected Kumo genin who is said to be on par with several jonin in his village. The ninja from here that aren't participating are Sakura Haruno, who had failed a mental exam after AC rank turned S rank, where she watched her teammate massacre an estimated 300 bandits and took down a crime lord. Her teammate that killed off the small army was promoted and has rumored to have fallen off the face of the planet, which leads me to believe that he's been enlisted in ANBU, stated Kabuto. Wow. You were right, Shika. Naruto was promoted, stated Choji. Yay, you don't beat my old man and not impress some people, stated Shikamaru. I want information on Gaara from Suna, that Kumo guy you mentioned with the weird name, Naruto Uzumaki, and a redhead named Mito from Konoha, stated Sasuke. HMM. Well, the first to come up is Mito, no given name. He's a taijutsu expert, decent in both nin and general jutsu but a total monster in kenjutsu. Bio says that he's extremely foul-mouthed unless talking to a superior. Earned the nickname the Bloodstained Hurricane because of his red hair, and kenjutsu style involves fast and aggressive attacks. Lost a good chunk of his tongue during a run-in with the Iwa explosive core. Next up is Gaara from Suna. High-Taian ninjutsu, uses sand as a weapon, says here he's never been hurt on a mission, even the A rank where he apparently killed a large number of enemy ninja. Next is your old teammate. I got most of this from a friend in Iowa that I fought against in the last exam. Naruto Uzumaki, high chunin and taijutsu, outstandingly fast, very strong, uses odd ninjutsu that are mostly straight chakra manipulation. Thought to have joined ANBU. Other than that, I got nothing. Last up is Jake Srieger. High level of Taian ninjutsu, medium in genjutsu, said to be highly skilled in all forms of weapons, but most of all a bow staff that is made of a chakra tree with chakra metal as a core. Taught by Darui of the Black Lightning and the 4th Raikage with Naruto aka Mito. Hello Naruto, said Jake, who had a rather deep voice. His light brown, almost blonde hair was as curly and messy as possible and fell around his ears and covered the top of his headband. He wore a dual-shoulder Kumo genin flak jacket over a blue long-sleeve t-shirt that was cut off just below the elbow. He wore matching blue and blue pants that, while loose, showed his absolutely massive legs. His light blue eyes were narrowed at the blonde, as good a sensor as ever. So what are you doing here? Asked Naruto quietly. Even Naruto looked small standing next to the 5'11" 16-year-old. You know, I wouldn't tell you if you hadn't saved my life from the snake pedo, stated Jake as he looked around and put up a privacy seal. We are here to get Samui and Omoi promoted. I was the fill-in. That's the story we're using. The real reason we're here is to make sure the two Hyuga aren't in danger from the other Kumo team. Kumo still having problems? Asked Naruto. Yay, but what are you going to do? My personal mission was to find you and to beat the fuck out of that Uchiha, stated Jake. He personally hated most Doujutsu users, Naruto and Itachi being the exception. He hated them because they 1. Take all the Kekkei Genkai glory, and 2. Hide behind their eyes. You are not the only one. Hopefully you get the chance. God knows he needs it. How's the project coming? Asked Naruto. Good. Darui-sensei and Asama have been helping a lot. I almost have complete control of the new element, and even have a few jutsu. Maybe you and I can spar during the month off we have to train? Asked Jake. Yay, no doubt. But until then, I'm sure you'll take care. Especially if you can use that Kekkei Toda. Everyone sit down and shut up, yelled Ibiki as he scanned the room, exuding a slight killing intent. His eyes fell on the redhead standing by a Kumo nin with dark blonde hair. Good. Naruto was fitting in just fine. Looks like that fake persona he made up is working out better than we hoped. Alright, listen up. This is a written test. You start out with 10 points. Every wrong answer, you lose a point, and every time you get caught cheating, you lose 2 points. So if you get caught cheating twice, and get 6 answers wrong, you fail. If your points drop to 0, you fail. If you get caught cheating 5 times, you fail. Got it? Questioned the large interrogator. Question, stated the Kumo genin that Naruto was talking to earlier. What is it? Asked Ibiki angrily. What's your middle name? Asked Jake. What the hell you wanna know that for? Asked Ibiki, while Mito was holding back a laugh, relatively used to the question that Srieger always asked. I want to know if your initials spell anything, stated Jake. Why the hell not? My middle name is Hilo, stated Ibiki. Your middle name is Sun? That doesn't fit you very well, stated Jake. Will you shut up so I can continue the test? Questioned Ibiki. Whatever floats your boat, stated Jake as he leaned back in his chair. And for the love of God, Uchiha, would you stop staring at me and Mito? I don't know about him, but sure as hell don't swing that way. Mito spun around and yelled, Huck you Hurger. I only hoaf her womb. Come down volcano top. You know I was joking, I just wanted the Uchiha to stop raping you with his eyes. It was getting creepy, stated Jake. Mito just nodded and turned back to the front of the room. Meanwhile, Sasuke was seething. How dare that peasant tell him what to do? He was an Uchiha, an elite, and some no-name punk from Kumo had the audacity to breathe the same air. You're next on the list, right after Danzo and the Dobe Naruto. I'll kill all 3 of you and take over the Dobe's clans. Then the Uchiha will rise again and I'll be the one telling everyone what to do. Alright, if there are no more questions, begin. Unknown location. I have to admit, I like you choice Rock, stated Iroh as he looked into the crystal ball. Indeed, though he is quite odd. What qualifications does he have? And how does he compare to young Naruto? Questioned Ra. I'll just explain it all. I found out about him when my old weapon found its way into his hands. As you both know, I created the unbreakable lion for the last sage, but he died before I could give it to him, and the staff didn't like either of the sons. Young Jake found it after he escaped from a testing lab of that fool Orochimaru's. He was born from the heiress of the Dendo clan, who is known to be able to use chakra fusion to its full potential, and some no-name with the name Srieger. Orochimaru used him in an experiment to see if it was possible to integrate opposing elements into someone with developed chakra coils. He gained the ability to use 3 elements, wind, lightning and earth, which he can now combine into what he calls the plasma release. He has good intentions, but due to the torture he underwent from Orochimaru, his soul split, one light side, one dark. His soul is slowly coming back together, but it will be some time before he is whole again, and the time frame of the training will be over by the time his soul's mends, stated Rock, solemn in the fact that he couldn't give the young man any help. How terrible. We must tell Naruto to end that horrible human once his training is complete. Which reminds me, I have to speak with the Elder Toads and inform them that they will no longer be Naruto's summons, stated Ra. Why not? Of all the summons, are the Toads not the most utilitarian? They are the perfect summon, plus the other 2 summons that he must have. The Toads are a great choice, stated Iroh, because, while Gamabunta is very strong, you both know that Naruto will need summons that can take on the Bidu, stated Ra. So why don't just awaken him? Questioned Rock. I never thought of that. I wonder if I can even make contact with him. I will have to ask the Elder Toads about that. Now excuse me, I have to speak with my underlings, stated Ra as he disappeared. Let's hope that he isn't too grumpy when he awakens, stated Iroh. At least you 2 can fly. I'd be trapped with him if he goes on another rampage. In testing room, about 30 minutes had passed, and so far, Jake had just sat back and observed the other contestants. His test had yet to be touched. He has yet to even move his pencil. Then again, neither has Naruto, but that's to be expected as his mission is to just weed out the weak or anyone who could be a spy. Thought Ibiki as he watched over the testers when he saw the Kumo nin that had yet to even look at his test got up and started to move to the front of the room. Jake walked down the steps, scanning the other students. He smirked when he saw the perfect target for his not-so-complicated plan. And just where do you think you're going? Questioned Ibiki as he watched the strange Kumo nin stop next to Itachi genin. Jake grabbed the back of the unsuspecting genin's head and slammed his face into the desk, breaking his nose and causing him to cry out in pain. In an instant, Jake had Itachi genin in the air, holding him by his waist above his head and brought him back to earth with a vicious body slam. Srieger bomb, shouted Jake as he smashed the genin into the ground. A sickening thud sounded through the room as everyone watched his eyes roll back into his head. You better have a damn good reason that you just assaulted a foreign ninja on less than friendly soil, shouted Ibiki, though on the inside he was praising the young man's idea. Brilliant, I never gave the no fighting rule. and I can kick him out for cheating, as he only got caught once. Easy. I'm only going to lose 2 points for cheating, meaning I'll most likely pass this exam and move on to the next. Plus I just eliminated some competition, stated Jake as he took the test from the genin he had just destroyed and moved back to his seat, all the other genins staring at him. What? Something on my face? Alright, new rule. No fighting during the rest of this test. Proctors, take 2 points of his score and get a medic in here to help that poor son of a bitch that just got. What did you call it? Questioned Ibiki. The Srieger bomb, stated Jake as he sat back in his chair and pulled his headband down over his eyes. Minus 15 minutes later. Alright maggots, listen up. It's time for the final question, stated Ibiki, who was answered by dual snoring. He looked at the culprits, only to find that it was none other than Naruto and Srieger. Will someone wake up Mito and Srieger? Samui rolled her eyes and threw a kunai at her eccentric temporary teammate, who caught it between 2 fingers without lifting his head, still snoring. The genin next to Mito just poked him a couple of times, only for the redhead to reach up and snap his finger. Alright then. The final question is different than the others. You have to choose whether you wish to attempt the test or not. Ibiki was cut off when a loud Inuzuka shouted out. What kind of dumbass would not want to try the question? Armageddon, huh? Was the yelling really needed? Questioned Srieger after he jumped up from a seat, his staff held in a defensive position. Yeah, he huck up. Ihuhua, before I huck yow her, retorted Mito. Most of the class had trouble understanding the red-headed genin, though those that did were either giggling or full-out laughing. Kiba, who was one of the few who understood the redhead, was furious. I'll fucking kill you if you touch my sister. I said no fighting. Toad Realm. Fukakasu was doing the usual, hiding from his wife while going in and out of sage mode to make sure if he was ever summoned where it was needed, he would be ready. A sudden gust of wind alerted the small frog that something, or someone, was coming. Hello young toad, how have you been? Asked a calm, confident, not-so-human voice. One Fukasaku instantly recognized. How may I help you, Lord Ra? The last time you came down to greet you underlings, it was when we had to seal my father. Questioned Pa. Well, you see, this newest summoner of yours, I've taken an interest in him. Myself and the others have narrowed down a few humans that could become the next sage, and he's at the top of the list, stated Ra. So you're going to take away young Naruto? Is that why you are here? Has he signed your contract? Questioned Pa. No, in fact he will still be your summoner, but in time I'm going to unseal Gamagaya to be young Naruto's familiar, stated Ra, getting a shocked look from Pa. You're sure that will be okay? My older brother, before he left our world, informed me that our father was less than stable. There's a reason that mountain has a hole in it, stated Pa as he pointed to a far-off mountain that indeed had a noticeable hole in it. Yes, during our search for 2 suitable summons for the young Uzumaki, we've come across some interesting facts. For S-class summons, like myself and Gamer Gaya, every year we do not fight, we start to overload with power. That's what caused Gamagaya to rampage all those years ago, that and he never really was all that stable. Thankfully, I have Iroh and Rock to spar with, stated Ra. I'd imagine, with him never being summoned, he would have built up quite a bit of extra power. So since Naruto would most likely summon him at least once a year, he will be fine? Questioned Pa, still uneasy with the whole idea. Yes, and if not, the other summon that has signed up for him can handle it, stated Ra. Who besides you 3 would be able to handle my father? Questioned Fukasaku. It was well known through the summon realms that Gamagaya was an immense powerful and intelligent fighter. There were only a handful that could fight him on even ground, let alone be able to subdue him. My brother clan has signed up. The RUHKS were rather excited to be his future summon, though Garuda said he was going to test him. Trailed off Ra. He may be the great Phoenix King, but his brother was the perfect match to go with Gamagaya, as they had different affinities, which meant they could coordinate attacks. To have my father and Lord Garuda on his side, quite the combo. But may I ask why you're doing this now? I know that Naruto has one of the purest hearts in the world, but it's been centuries since there was a true sage. Why does the world need one now? Asked Pa, though in the back of his mind, he could remember what the great Toad Sage had told Jiraiya. Between you and me, we both know of the cycle of the world. What you don't know, is that while the last sage did restart this cycle, because of his children, the cycle started in fast forward. Those damn Uchiha were tainted by Jobi's chakra and the Senju, while good-natured, they were all over compassionate in their pursuits, causing them to basically wipe themselves out running to everyone's aid. leavening the Uchiha unattended. And now there are several Uchiha out in the world, under different names, that are going to cause the cycle to come about again. And that's where young Naruto comes in, stated Fukasaku. But with my father and Lord Garuda, he would still need another summon. All the sages had 3, correct? 6 paths had you, Lord Iroh and Lord Rock. So who would be Naruto's 3rd summon? Someone who has been with him his entire life. Training ground 44. The Hyuga girl is rather weak. I wonder why that is. She has rather large reserves and from what I can tell, very good control over it. Why is she so weak? This is so not cool, questioned a big-chested blonde. She's too kind. She probably doesn't like hurting people, which is why her non-combat skills are so good. But anything to do with fighting is rather useless, stated Jake. That would make sense, but why would the council want her instead of the male? Questioned the blonde. Probably out of pride. Those fools couldn't do it 7 years ago, so they probably just want to do it now, state Jake. That's so not cool. Say, who was that redhead? You seem to know him rather well, questioned Samui. You've heard of the Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, right? Questioned Jake. Yay. B-sensei told us that has a crazy strong chunin that supposedly took on 2 S-class criminals and made them retreat. It's rumored he's in ANBU now and that he's the son of the 4th Hokage, stated Omoi. Well, that's Mito. That's an alter ego he uses. I met him when he saved me from Orochimaru, said a suddenly deflated dirty blonde. Omoi put a hand on the younger boy's shoulder for comfort, while Samui just gave him a sad smile. I wouldn't say escape. Srieger spun around, only to see a very pale young woman. What do you want, Kuzunin? Asked Omoi. Though Jake was quietly freaking out. He was taught by the best censor in Kumo, and he knew exactly who this was. That's no genin. You two, get out of here now, stated Srieger as he took his taijutsu stance, which was him square to his opponent with his feet about shoulder width apart. What are you talking about? Why would we do that? Questioned Samui. That's Orochimaru, stated Srieger. They both understood immediately and took off. They both knew that they would only get in the way during this fight. Kikuku. Very noble of you, but I can't help but feel like I know you from somewhere, stated the Kuzunin. Her voice was now that of Orochimaru. Wouldn't you just love to know, stated Srieger as he started to build up chakra throughout his body. Do not worry, I am not here for you, Jake-kun laughed. Orochimaru, right now I'm looking for my next vessel, so good day to you. Perhaps we will meet again, he stated as he sank into the ground. Srieger let loose the chakra he had been building in a wave, which probably alerted all of the ninja in the area where he was, but if it came to blows, we was strong enough to last until he found his team with Naruto. 10 minutes later. Stupid son of a right. Can't say that. Why the fuck would he run off like that? Does he have a death wish? Naruto questioned himself as he sped, or as normal shinobi called it, teleported, through the forest after feeling 2 large chakra spikes from the opposite direction of the tower. The first almost 10 minutes ago, the second about 10 seconds ago. Sasuke had picked a fight with Lee about being naturally gifted versus hardworking, and had split off from the group, which even Neji seemed thankful for. Naruto was busy looking for the Oto genin that were most likely Orochimaru's pawns, when he felt the second spike and heard a loud scream. Naruto found his way to a clearing where he saw the last person he expected to see. Hello again, Snake Face. You again, brat. I'm not even here for you and you're once again a thorn in my side. And I thought that Jake-kun would be my only hindrance today, stated Orochimaru, his neck returning to its normal length after giving Sasuke his gift. Though my work here is done, well, the old man says that I have to protect the Uchiha. Guess I failed that one, stated Naruto as he looked at the young Avenger, motionless on the ground, a Sharingan-like symbol on his lower neck. Idiot, never should have challenged you to a fight. Even I wouldn't go after you. Oh, is little Naruto-kun admiring my skill? Questioned Orochimaru with a sickeningly sweet tone, making Naruto shudder slightly. Hardly. I just find myself hard-pressed to keep my lunch down whenever you use that fucked-up regeneration jutsu, stated Naruto as he flared his chakra to the max. You have about 15 seconds to leave the village. See ya soon, Pato. Give my regards to Sasori. It matters not, Sasuke is mine now, and I am no longer with those fools. They never did appreciate my work. Farewell, Naruto-kun, and tell my sensei not to pull Sasuke-kun from the exams, or else I'll burn this pitiful village to the ground, stated Orochimaru as he started to sink into the ground. He tossed 2 scrolls to Sasuke. There are his scrolls. Would you be a dear and help him to a safe place? It took about 10 more seconds for two full platoons of A and B to descend on the small clearing, one approaching Naruto, who already had his mask back on. Is everything alright, Gamma? And what happened to the Uchiha? It's all good for now. Bring the Uchiha to the tower. He just fought Orochimaru and I would like him to be healed, as he does have both scrolls, stated Naruto with a time of authority, even though he was the lowest rank of the three leaders there. My team, search for Orochimaru and Anko. She may be in trouble. After you're done, prepare sealing room 2. Hi was the response from all the A and B minus the other captains, who simply nodded and brought Sasuke to the tower. 15 minutes later, Hokage office. So he's here then, stated the aged Hokage. I would tend to think not, as he knows that wherever I am, Itachi is as well. I may not be good enough to beat him, but Itachi is more than enough, stated Naruto. That's the problem though. Itachi isn't here, stated Jiraiya. Not right now, but I'll talk to him after the preliminaries. I'm sure he's done by now. After all, he was almost done when we split apart, stated Naruto. Good. With Itachi in the village, along with you, Jiraiya, and you, Naruto, we should have the firepower to stop whatever he has planned, stated Sarutobi. No. If Orochimaru has an alliance with Sand, it stands to reason that the Kazekage will be involved. Jiraiya would take him and Itachi would take Orochimaru. We don't know if Kuma or Iwa are joining in on this either, as they both have teams in this exam when they aren't supposed to, stated Naruto. True. It would be very troubling if both A and Onoki joined, or even worse, their Jinchuruki, as they both have two, stated Jiraiya. Yes, this is indeed troubling, stated Sarutobi and thought. We will plan for the worst. I will take Orochimaru. Naruto, you will take the Kazekage. His only strength is his magnet release, which I'm sure you can find a way to negate, or even turn to your advantage. What about me and Itachi and Kakashi and Guy for that matter? Questioned Jiraiya. You and Itachi will take any Jinchuruki that come along. I will have Guy and Kakashi be my field commanders, as us four will be tied up. Naruto, once you deal with the Kazekage, I'd like some backup with Orochimaru. Jiraiya, when you defeat the Jinchuruki, make sure to lock them up, or maybe even seal them in case we need a bargaining chip when this is all over, stated Sarutobi. And what of A and Onoki? We can't just let the possibility of two cages seep through the cracks, stated Jiraiya. If it comes to that, then I'll take them myself, stated Naruto as he raised his face to the ceiling, his blue Rinnegan shining in almost holy light. Naruto, I know you don't use your eyes much, and only you know the true power of them, but can you really take 3 cages on at once with them? Questioned Sarutobi. Yes, but it might kill me. I'll use the month break between exams to gain as much control over my eyes as possible. Last time I used them that much I needed Tsunade to heal me, stated Naruto. Alright, that's the plan for now. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that, stated Sarutobi. Let's just hope that he really did leave Akatsuki. It would be bad news if they were involved in this as well. Next day, Battle Tower sealing room. I don't want it sealed. You can't make me, stated Sasuke, who had woken up in a hospital bay with a curse mark activated and decided to test it out on an ANBU who just happened to be Naruto. You don't have a choice. You attacked a superior officer. If you don't have this sealed off, you will be arrested on treasonous activity and endangering the medical corps, stated the Gamma-faced ANBU stated, very surprised at what could only be the arrogance of the young Uchiha. After all, he couldn't even connect the dots that Gamma was Naruto, or even that he was struggling against the same ANBU who subdued him yesterday. Maybe he was just that dumb. I'm an Uchiha. I'll have the council pull your rank, stated Sasuke dangerously, though Naruto just laughed in his face. I was taught by your older brother, and by the way the council can suck my dick. I hold more power than everyone on it minus Hokage-sama, stated Gamma. Sasuke's eyes widened when he heard that. Only one person in the village held that much power. Dobe. Sasuke yelled before he was knocked out by a chop to the neck. Shit, I'll have to tell old man to inform him to keep his mouth shut about my identity. -3 days later, Battle Tower Arena. HMM, 19 participants. You were right when you said we would need a preliminary, stated the Hokage to the ANBU next to him, who just nodded. Welcome maggots, to the 3rd round of the Chunin exams, shouted Anko. Now, before we start the fighting, Hokage-sama has an announcement. A cry of bullshit. came from the redhead from Suna. Shut it, Ginger, retorted Anko Hokage-sama. Thank you, Anko. As your proctor has says, welcome to the third stage of the Chunin exams. You 19 will be fighting for your villages in the coming fights, so be sure to give it your all, stated Sarutobi. I'll take it from here, Hokage-sama, stated Gamma, the ANBU that had been seen earlier with the Hokage. Alright, the stage is all one-on-one fights. For those of you that don't understand the implications of that statement, it means that if any of you are injured, or just don't wish to continue for any reason, you might drop out now, and your teammates can still continue. I think I'll drop out of this one. A sound Janin hit me with something that threw off my equilibrium pretty bad and did something to my lungs. It's not worth risking my death to continue from here, stated Kabuto with a frown. He didn't understand why Orochimaru told him to drop out of the testings, but it didn't matter, he would do as told. Gamma looked to the Hokage, who simply nodded. Alright, Kabuto from Konoha, you're free to go. Be sure to say hello to your father for me. Kabuto froze at that statement from the ANBU, who he knew was none other than Naruto Uzumaki, a person his sensei hated almost as much as the Sandaime and Jiraiya. Almost. Chaoji, please forfeit, with that broken leg you can barely move, stated Shika, who was holding up the plump Genin. You're right, Shika. Proctor, I forfeit, stated Chiji, silently cursing the Iwanin that broke his leg. Okay, Chaoji Akimaki from Konoha, you're free to go, stated Naruto. Is it okay if I stay and watch my team compete? Asked Chaoji. Naruto looked to Sarutobi, who simply nodded yes, you may stay. Okay, if there are no more quitters, let's start the matches. First up, Kiba Inuzuka of Konoha vs Shinobu of Konoha. First up, Kiba Inuzuka of Konoha vs Shinobu of Konoha, stated the Gamma ANBU, who Sasuke seemed to be staring at with hatred in his eyes. Sasuke was silently fuming. He had been told by the Hokage that Naruto's status in ANBU was already known, as he had been put in the bingo book. After demanding the same training that Naruto got, being denied of course, he had moved Naruto up to number 1 on his list of people to kill. Begin. Kiba attacked head-on, knowing his teammate lacked in Taijutsu. After only 2 punches, Shino dissolved into bugs. Kiba was kicked in the back, sending him flying. He righted himself, and sprang into another attack, only to see Shino dissolve into even more bugs as his fist made contact. You cannot win, Kiba, stated Shino, once again appearing behind Kiba, only for Akamaru to mark him. Like you could ever beat me, man-beast clone. All fours jutsu, shouted Kiba, only for Akamaru to drop to the ground. A moment later, so did Kiba. You're covered in my beetles. Forfeit, you have no chance of winning, stated Shino. Hell no, you're weaker than me. I'm the alpha and I'll beat you. Kiba passed out. Winner, Shinobu of Konoha, stated Naruto with a sweat drop. The medics came and got Kiba, while Shino just nodded to Naruto and walked back to his team. Well, Kurenai, Shino seems skilled, stated Asuma with a shock drop. Would Sasuke Uchiha and Yoroi Kato please come down to the arena, stated Gamma. Both fighters descended to the field, the Uchiha glaring at the Gamma, Yoroi glaring at the Uchiha. Both fighters ready? Begin. Sasuke charged, Sharingan blazing as he threw a fury of punches at the chest of his opponent, the last one being caught by Yoroi. My chakra, what are you doing to my chakra? Demanded Sasuke as he felt his chakra drained. This is my ability, I can absorb chakra through the pores in my skin, stated Yoroi. Such a simple trick will never top an Uchiha, stated Sasuke as he used his free hand to prop himself up as he kicked Yoroi in the chest and broke free of his grip and immediately started flashing through hand signs fire style. Great Fireball Jutsu. Yoroi avoided most of the fireball, but his right arm was now burnt, along with his right foot. Proctor, I forfeit, stated Yoroi. Winner Sasuke Uchiha, stated Gamma. Sasuke looked at Yoroi and started flashing through hand seals. He was abruptly stopped when he felt himself getting picked up by the throat and slammed into a wall. Stand down, Uchiha. You already won this match. If you do anything that cowardly again, I'll kill you myself. You think you're better than me, doob? Well, see, and soon, stated Sasuke as he pushed Naruto off of him and walking back up to the stands. You are nothing compared to an Uchiha. This exam is almost pointless. Both matches have taken less than a minute and the strongest of their class was already promoted, stated Asuma quietly to Guy. And then the Uchiha goes and does something like that. How low can you get? I must agree. The only quality shinobi left from those 2 years are Lee and Shikamaru. Perhaps Shino, stated Guy quietly. What about Neji? Questioned Asuma. He is not as strong as he says he is. If Lee were to fight him without weights, it would be over in seconds, stated Guy. Next match, Rock Lee of Konoha vs Gaara of Suna, called out Gamma. Are both fighters ready? Yes, answered Gaara as he appeared in a swirl of sand. Of course, shouted Lee, simply jumping down. Begin. Lee shot off like a rocket, his image blurred as he threw a huge kick at Gaara, only to be narrowly blocked by sand that poured out from the large gourd on his back. Sorry about that. This sand protects me from attacks by itself. It seems like you will have to use something other than taijutsu, stated Gaara in an emotionless voice. Lee, shouted Guy, take them off. Yes, Guy-sensei, shouted back Lee, who jumped up to the top of the statue at the far end of the arena. Now we will see if your youthful sand can stop my youthful power. Suddenly, Lee pulled down his leg warmers and unbuckled a set of leg weights. Does he really think that some weight is going to help him beat Gaara? Questioned Temari. What's youthful power? Asked Kankuro. As the weights hit the ground, the whole building shook and 2 cracks were formed running the length of the arena. Then Lee disappeared. Everyone but Guy and Gamma were shocked at Lee's newfound speed, which was nearing high jonin as he danced around Gaara, raining blows at the redhead. To everyone's surprise, only 1/4 of the blows were landing on the redhead, and all of them were either blocked with much effort or dodged with much effort. The few times Gaara tried to counter, Lee simply dodged them. Neji had his eyes activated and was grinding his teeth in anger. You've been hiding this from me. Why would Guy train you to such an extent when I have more talent? How am I supposed to kill Heishi if my sensei trains the loser instead of me? Sasuke was having similar thoughts. Such a speed increase. I need to get a pair of weights. No 2 pairs. If this no-name can handle that much, then I can as well. Then Danzo and Dobe will fall to my feet. You surprise me greatly. To this date you are only the second person to ever consistently get past my sand shield. However, it ends here, stated Gaara as he began to surround himself in sand that glowed bronze. Gaara launched at Lee and was meet fist to fist in mammoth shockwave. You are very strong, my youthful friend. Are you too a genius of hard work? Of a sort. My control over sand due to my demon is high enough that I do not need to be proficient in taijutsu. Though 2 years ago, 2 friends came into my life and helped me see my faults. Even though my sand defends me automatically, I still work on my taijutsu and ninjutsu, stated Gaara, who then threw a kick at Lee, who blocked and threw his own kick, which was in turn blocked. That is extremely youthful of you. If you would do me the honor, I wish to make you my newest eternal rival, requested Lee. I would glad to, but for now, I must prove my strength, stated Gaara as he became fully encased in sand armor. This ends here. First gate open, second gate open, third gate open, fourth gate open, shouted Lee as more and more green energy engulfed him. In an instant he had his fist in Gaara's gut, sending him crashing into the wall. The gates. Guy taught him to open the goddamn gates, and all he ever taught me was teamwork, thought Neji, rage building as he thought of how much he could do if he could open the gates. What are these gates? How does his power skyrocket? I must learn this, thought Sasuke as he stared at the 2 fighting on the ring. And that sand armor, is he a container like the Dobe? That would mean if I can defeat him, I can defeat Dobe. Guy, are those the gates? Questioned Asuma, his cigarette long forgotten on the floor. Yes, and he opened 4 of them, added Kurenai. Yes, my youthful comrade. He can open 5, but I have forbidden the 5th, stated Guy. In the arena, Lee and Gaara were battling it out, fist to fist, foot to foot, knee to knee, and even headbutt to headbutt. Gaara's sand-absorbing blows and Lee's hypertensive muscles just powered through each blow. Though Lee was faster and stronger, it was not by much. Gaara was using a large amount of Shukaku's power, nearing the level he would need for a partial transformation, and Lee was still stronger and faster. My youthful opponent. I must end this now, shouted Lee as he disappears from Gaara's view. Left, right, up, down. Gaara was kicked square in the chin as he looked down, sending him skyward. Gaara immediately felt himself being constricted, and heading towards the ground head first and fast. Initial Lotus, shouted Lee as he spiked Gaara into the ground. An explosion of shattered tiles. Literally no sound was made other than the dust and debris falling back to earth. Slowly, everyone in the room began to understand what happened. Lee had just used a forbidden taijutsu move that damages both the user and the victim. In the center of the crater, 2 figures stood. Gaara looked like he was dazed. He had a deep red glob of sand over his forehead as his sand cloak fell off of him in large chunks. Lee had both arms broken, as well as his right leg, but was balancing on his left. How did you survive the initial Lotus? Questioned Lee, struggling to stand as most of his muscles had been torn from having 4 of the 8 gates opened. My cloak absorbed some of the damage. I also shifted backwards in the sand so that we hit at the same time, stated Gaara as he pulled the glob of bloody sand away from his head, showing a sand-filled gash right above his left eyebrow. Suddenly, sand shot out and trapped Lee about his waist. Forfeit, or I'll end your ninja career. Lee looked depressed as he hadn't been able to show what a splendid shinobi he had become. Proctor, I'm throwing in the towel for my student Lee, shouted Guy. Everyone looked at him strangely. Everyone but Hiruzen and Gamma. Winner by external forfeit, Gaara of Suna, stated Gamma as medics rushed to attend Lee and Gaara. Lee had fallen unconscious and Gaara had simply waved off the medics after getting a nod from Naruto. I don't get it. Why did a sensei step in? Questioned Ino in a confused voice. Lee is too dedicated to quit a match. Even though he was beaten, he couldn't willingly give up, because it would prove everyone that was against him right, stated Asuma in a tone of respect and approval. Well, that's dumb. Why would anyone willingly die to prove something like that? Questioned Ino, getting looks of doubt, anger and even shame from the people around her. And that, Ino, is why you will never be a true shinobi. Would Jake Srieger of Kumo and Tenten of Konoha please come down to the floor? Srieger appeared on the floor without so much as a blur to the other genin. Most jonin and even Sarutobi were impressed by such raw speed. Easily mid-jonin. The Uchiha has his eyes active. Are you sure this seal will work? Questioned Srieger quietly. Gamma nodded ever so slightly, only enough for Jake to notice. Tenten landed lightly on her feet, standing less than 5 feet from Srieger. I heard you were a weapons expert. Let's see if you deserve that title. I won't use a single one of my own weapons, stated Srieger as he removed both his weapons pouches and tossed them to the older blonde female in the stands. The Kumo nin then threw his staff like a spear, embedding it in the wall less than a foot from the younger blonde woman's head, who didn't so much as flinch. Begin. Tenten rushed holding a kunai in each hand, swinging in quick accurate strikes aimed for vital points. Srieger simply dodged or deflected the strikes like they came from a child. Tenten jumped back and launched 5 kunai and 5 shuriken at the Kumo nin, who shocked everyone by catching every kunai on a finger of his right hand and then using the kunai as claws to deflect the shuriken or even reroute them back at Tenten. Every weapon you throw at me is one more weapon at my disposal, stated Srieger as he charged her once again, this time using the kunai on his fingers as claws, swiping and leavening light cuts along her right rib cage. Don't get cocky. Twin rising dragons, shouted Tenten as she pulled out 2 scrolls and leaped high in the air, unrolling the scrolls and then unsealing the contents of said scrolls, which was apparently anything sharp she could find. No one can dodge this attack. A literal rain of sharpened metal began to descend on the Kumo nin. Everyone was confused. Jake Srieger stood still, his eyes closed as the plethora of weapons descended on him. As the first weapon, strangely enough, a katana, was about to pierce his skull, it happened. Srieger style. 1000 arm return. Srieger's eyes shot open and he grabbed the katana with his right hand, spun it around and started deflecting away weapons. Everyone's eyes widened, even more so when started catching weapons with his left hand and returning fire. Then, everyone's eyes threatened to leave their skulls as he caught another sword, a ninjato, and held it between his teeth as he continued to deflect and return fire. Tenten was panicking. Are you shitting me? What is this guy? I'm down to my last 5 weapons and he's blocked or used all of them, she thought as she let another katana fly at the Kumo nin, only for him to catch it in his free left hand. That was it. Tenten had run out of weapons and was now falling and was about to be killed by the Kumo nin holding 3 of her swords. She only had one option. Proctor, I forfeit. Tenten had just got the last word in as she impacted the ground, breaking her ankle due to the crater-like ground. Before she knew it, she was being carried bridal style to a group of medics. She looked up to see the face of her opponent. So, do I deserve my title? Samui stared impassively at her temporary teammate as she watched him carry the bun-haired girl to the medics. Not cool. I wish just once that a guy would do something other than just stare at my chest. Would Ino Yamanaka of Konoha and Samui of Kumo please come down to the field? Samui jumped down and landed next to Naruto, sending a flirtatious wink at the Gamma-masked proctor, though no one saw it. Ino simply walked down the stairs to her spot. Are those real? Yes. And right now they're killing my back, so let's get this over with so that I can get to a hot spring, stated Samui in her usual cold voice. Begin. Ino charged and threw a right hook that was easily blocked, but followed quickly with a leg sweep that was narrowly avoided. Samui hit back and hit hard, spinning mid-jump and slamming a kick into Ino's head, knocking her back and causing her to fall, though she managed to get back to her feet quickly. I'm surprised. From what I understood, you were a fangirl, though it seems like you're actually a capable kunoichi, though inexperienced and rather weak, stated Samui in a cold, impassive tone. I was, but when my friend got lost in her own fangirlism, I decided that I didn't want it to happen to me, so I started to work my ass off, stated Ino, who once again launched at Samui, only for her to disappear and Ino to feel a blade at her throat. I'm glad there's some girls outside of myself and my teammates that take being kunoichi seriously. But for now, you either forfeit this match, or die, stated Samui as she put more pressure on her blade, drawing some blood. Proctor, I forfeit, stated Ino with her head down. Winner, Samui of Kumo, called out Gamma. Ino sulked up to her sensei and team, who looked at her with approving smiles. Samui jumped up to the railing, making sure to give the Gamma Anbu, who she knew was Naruto, a good view. Next match. Would Kankuro of Suna and Sumitsurugi of Konoha please come down? It's canon. Would Omoi of Kumo and Shikamaru Nara of Konoha please come down? This is troublesome. I should just forfeit, stated Shikamaru as he walked towards the stairs and to the center of the arena. What if I accidentally kill him and then the Nara clan will want revenge? We would be taken over by squirrels, stated Omoi, who was hit in the back of the head by Srieger. If you don't move now I will tell Kurui that you have a crush on her, stated Jake. Omoi was on the arena floor in less than a second. Does Omoi really have a crush of Kurui? Asked Yujiro, who had until that point been trying, and failing to get Nibi to stop talking about mounting the proctor. I don't know, but after seeing him move that fast, I'd have to say yes, stated Jake. Begin. Cloud style crescent beheading, shouted Omoi as he swung his sword horizontally to the ground, forcing Shikamaru to limbo under the swing. Shikamaru acted quickly. Using his position, he sent a kick at Omoi's waist, forcing the Kumo Nen to retreat. Shadow Possession Jutsu. As Omoi landed he was immediately locked in place. He watched in horror as his own blade was slowly approaching his own neck. Thinking fast, he replaced himself with the proctor to be able to replace himself without hand seals, stated Asuma in awe. I don't even think Kakashi could do that. Cloud style deception beheading, called out Omoi as he sent a lateral slash at Shikamaru, who jumped away, causing Gamma to jump forward and blindside Omoi. Incredible to know the trajectory of his own jump to force the one he had control over to blindside his opponent, stated Guy. You said it, even I'm impressed by that one, stated Asuma. Before Omoi could recover, Shikamaru broke the possession over Gamma and placed an exploding tag on the Kumo Nin's back and locked him in another shadow possession jutsu. If you try to escape again, I'll detonate the tag on your back. Proctor, I forfeit, stated Omoi. Winner, Shikamaru Nara of Konoha, stated Gamma. Shikamaru walked over to the stairs and took a seat on the uppermost step. Omoi jumped back to his team, where they all gave him a pat on the back. Would Jake Srieger of Kumo and Temari of Suna please come down? Temari appeared in a wind shunshin and Jake appeared in an odd bright bluish-white light. Impressive, but I'm not like that leaf girl you fought earlier, stated Temari with a smirk. No shit. You're a blonde, stated Jake with a smirk, causing Temari to become angered. Begin. Temari pulled the fan off of her back and opened it so one purple dot was showing. Wind style, wind scythe, earth style, great pillar jutsu, shouted Jake as a 2-foot-wide pillar grew in front of him and blocked the wind blade. Meanwhile, Jake ran up the back and onto the top of the pillar and flashing through hand signs. Wind style, great breakthrough. Temari planted her fan and ducked behind it, avoiding the wall of pressure that exploded from the Kumo Nin's hand. Temari jumped up, pulling her fan with her as she swung again at the man on the pillar of earth, only for him to dissolve into earth, showing that he was only an earth clone. Lightning style, Raijin's judgment, called out Srieger from above Temari. A bolt of lightning left his hand and was attracted to the metal fan she was holding. In a split second, Temari let go of her fan. Just as the lightning hit it, Srieger appeared next to the fan, opening it all the way and swung at the sandy blonde, causing a huge wave of wind to slam the still airborne Kunoichi into the wall, knocking her out instantly. She was caught before she hit the ground by Gaara's sand and given to the medics. Winner, Jake Srieger of Kumo, stated Gamma. While Temari was taken to the medics, Jake walked up to Gaara and shook his hand, gave his apologies to Gaara and Kankuro, and headed back to his team. Would Neji Hyuga of Konoha and Hinata Hyuga of Konoha please come down? Okay, this is going to be confusing, so I'm going to explain it in an author's note instead of writing it out. Neji has no problems with Hinata. Without Naruto being her crutch, Hinata became strong enough to hold Neji's respect. Though because of the overimportance of book smarts at the academy, she did not earn Kunoichi of the Year, and therefore, her clan and father still see her as weak. Neji hates Hayashi for forcing his father to die for him. Both Neji and Hinata dislike Kumo. Fight is still the same. Neji wins, but does not try to kill her. Alright, all winners come forward and pick a number out of this hat. Stated Gamma. 1 Sasuke, 3 Gaara, 6 Neji, 4 Kankuro, 8 Samui, 7 Shika, 5 Shino, 2 Srigger. The matches are as follows: Sasuke Uchiha vs Jake Srigger, Gaara vs Kankuro, Shino vs Neji, Samui vs Shikamaru. You have 1 month to train. Your senseis have already made accommodations for a place to stay and a personal training grounds each. Minus 15 minutes later, Hokage office. Naruto had taken off his ANBU mask and was sitting across from Sarutobi. On his left was Dragon, the current ANBU commander, and on his right, Jiraiya. So Naruto, what is your plan? Asked Sarutobi. I'm going to talk with Itachi. I'll get him back here, then I'm going to the ruins of Azu to train. I'm the only one allowed there, so it should be safe. I'll return 2 days before the exams, set up everything, and during the exams, I'll be one of your guards. Stated Naruto. Very well. What steps are you taking, Dragon? Teams 5, 6 and 12 will all return and be running sweeps around the village with teams along with 4 and 15. Teams 1, 2 and 3 will be hidden in the crowd of the stadium. Teams 7, 8, 9 and 10 will each take an entrance. The rest other than Team X and Naruto's team will be roaming the village. Naruto will be in control of his own team and Team X. Stated Dragon. Very good, Dragon. You may leave now. Stated Sarutobi. Dragon left in a swirl of leaves. Naruto, we have received word that the Raikage, the Mizukage, and the Kazekage will all be attending the finals. Jiraiya's network has picked up that the 2 tails, 6 tails, and perhaps even 8 tails Jinchuriki will also be here as well. Itachi can handle Yujiro and the 6 tails. Jiraiya can handle the 8 tails, and if need be he can handle any summons. Stated Naruto. I will take the Raikage, Mizukage and Kazekage. Unknown area. So, Orochimaru is actually going to do it? Asked Danzo, displeased that his one-time student had forfeited his spot in Akatsuki to attack Konoha. It appears so. He has made his intentions clear. Orochimaru is now an enemy of Akatsuki. Stated Pine, his dull purple eyes roaming the cavern. What do we do now? Asked the black half of the plant man. The white half answered, next we need to replace him. For now, we will continue gathering funds. Stated Pine Sasori, find another partner. Gaara if possible, or perhaps Haiden. I want Kakazu and Danzo to watch the exams in Konoha and make sure none of the Jinchuriki die and find out their abilities. I want full reports. High Leader Sama, they announced as they faded away, leaving Tobi and Kisame. Have you discovered how did Madara died? Uchiha compound. Sasuke had bolted straight to Kakashi after he received his opponent, Jake Srigger, a no-name that had some skill, though he would win. Though Sasuke was in a foul mood, as Kakashi had told him that Team 7 was officially disbanded, and that he no longer wanted to teach him anything. Another punch in the face had literally been a punch in the face, from Guy, when Sasuke demanded weights, and to learn how to open the 8 gates. Kyuku, you're beginning to understand, laughed a sugary sweet voice behind Sasuke. What do you mean by that? Orochimaru questioned Sasuke. Simple. You finally understand that this accursed village will only hold you back. Think about it, young Kakashi won't teach you, as well as Mato Guy. It's a shame really, so much talent going to waste. Stated Orochimaru, trying his hardest to coax the Uchiha. What, like you would teach me? Questioned Sasuke. Of course. After all, that baboon Jiraiya as well as your brother taught your old teammate. Why wouldn't I take the more talented of the two of you and make you everything you could ever be? Hello Naruto-kun, have you come to bring me Pocky? Asked the semi-stoic Uchiha as he read a book. Though Naruto couldn't see the cover, it was obviously ninja related. Sorry sensei, no Pocky. I came to tell you that Orochimaru is planning on invading the Chunin exams and destroying the village. Stated Naruto as he sat down on the couch across from the Uchiha. They were in Itaka's home, which was actually a cave hidden in the mountains on the border of Fire and Lightning country. Are they after you? Asked Itachi seriously, though he hated to admit it. He loved Naruto as a brother, more so than he ever did Sasuke, which surprised him, as he had once planned out his entire life so the Sasuke would be the one to kill him to avenge the clan. Doubtful. It seems that Orochimaru has left the Akatsuki and founded his own village in the year since we last crossed his path, stated Naruto as he unsealed a folder and handed it to Itachi. The enemies we could be facing include the Raikage, Mizukage, Kazekage, Two Tails, Six Tails, Orochimaru and the snake summons. Itachi read the contents of the folder, which contained everything from simulated battle plans to what everyone's individual duty was. He was surprised when he saw that it was both guys and assumed his duty to guard Sasuke and several other clan heirs. How has Sasuke been? Bad. He's even more arrogant now than ever. He tried to kill his opponent in the Chunin exam prelims even after he had been declared the victor. Add the fact that he will do anything to gain power to kill Danzo, me, and anyone else he sees as a threat. He becomes downright murderous when anyone shows that they're stronger than he is, and that I'm pretty sure that someone has told him that you taught me, stated Naruto. Dread grew in the pit of Itachi's stomach as he listened to his blonde friend inform him of his brother. So there is no hope for him, is there? Questioned Itachi solemnly. I don't understand what could have happened to make Sasuke so revenge-driven. Could it be that someone is manipulating him? The only one who would be able to would be. There's hope, but in order for it to happen, some people need to suddenly. Naruto popped out of existence. Maybe the toads need him? Oh well. Guess I should head back to Konoha, stated Itachi. If the fake Madara is after him already, then he most likely is substituting him for me in his plan. I'll have to inform Naruto of this when I get the chance. Toad Realm, die. Finished Naruto. He looked around, only to find himself inside a giant hole in the side of a mountain. A mountain he remembered from the last few times he was at Mount Myoboku. Alright, Fukasaku-sama. What am I doing here? A small green toad jumped up on his shoulder and slapped him on the back of the head. Why don't you summon us more? Because I don't need you guys in fights as much. And I summoned you last month so we could play shogi, shouted Naruto right back, his face less than an inch from the tiny toads. As amusing as it is to watch a human and a toad argue at point-blank range, stated a calm, not-so-mortal voice behind Naruto, getting him to whip around. We have much more pressing matters to attend to, and not much time to do them. You're not a human, are you? Stated Naruto. The red-headed man smiled. And why does my sword pulse when you speak? No, I am not a human. All will be explained in time, but for the time being, we have much to do and little time to do it in, stated the red-haired man. I believe you need to learn how to truly use those eyes by the end of the month. How about we make a deal? Naruto looked to Fukasaku, who just nodded and motioned for Naruto to accept. What kind of deal? And how do you know about my eyes? Konoha. Sasuke was panting as he fell to his knees, sweating profusely as he pulled out a small scroll, the one that Orochimaru had given him. Flashback. What do you mean? He was trained by Jiraiya, not my brother, stated Sasuke, his fist clenching in anger. Partially true, Sasuke-kun. Your brother's mission that night wasn't your standard mission. He was to take Naruto away from the village and train him. When the brat reached Genin level, he was supposed to hand him off to Jiraiya. Instead, he continued to train him, along with Jiraiya and a few more people along the way, stated Orochimaru with a hidden smirk, which quickly turned into a hidden frown. Itachi always gave 100% on a mission. It stands to reason that he would want the best results, stated Sasuke, caught between pride for his brother and anger that he wasn't trained the same way, but on some weird level, extremely relieved. The dope had gotten his powers from Itachi, which meant that Itachi was stronger than Naruto, which meant that he could become even more powerful when Itachi finally came home. I suppose you're right, but don't you find it odd that Itachi hasn't been back to the village in almost 5 years? Yet Uzumaki came back after 4 years, stated Orochimaru. He hadn't been marked a missing and he hasn't been elected clan head yet, so he didn't run, which means that he has some sort of mission, stated Sasuke. He had used the secret Uchiha tunnel system to look at the village ninja records 2 years ago, and always had an bingo book handy. Orochimaru frowned. I don't understand. He holds contempt for a majority of the people in his life, and the one person he should hate, he admires. Perhaps I should tell him what really happened that night? Thought Orochimaru. No, I will save that for after the Chunin exams. For now I will just tempt him with power. I'm going to give you a gift, Sasuke-kun, and if you learn everything on it by the time of the Chunin exams, I'll give you power beyond your mightiest dreams, stated Orochimaru, pulling out a standard-sized scroll and tossing it to Sasuke. Those are some of my better jutsu, but nowhere near my best. Learn them all and I'll make you strong enough to kill that old fool Danzo. In the Uzumaki flashback end, Sasuke made a mark next to the first jutsu on the list, Fire Style, Grand Fire Dragon, a high B rank jutsu. If I learn all of these, I will be one step closer to killing them. Don't you worry, Itachi. Well, kill them all, then everyone will know the power of the Uchiha. Sasuke stood up, stretching out his midsection as he looked around. Too dark to keep training. Maybe I should go through the tunnels again. I haven't been to the archives in almost 2 years. I could use some more information on the dome, and they've probably updated Itachi's records. Otogakure. Soon, Kabuto, I will have my perfect body and Konoha will lay in ruins at my feet, stated Orochimaru. But Orochimaru-sama, why would you need an Uchiha body when you already have the eyes? Asked Kabuto, confusion in the media voice. While I do have a pair of Sharingan, this body is next to useless using it. The Sharingan uses up far too much chakra, and it will only be a hindrance in the future if I cannot find a way to increase the longevity of use, stated Orochimaru. And this body is too weak to introduce the Senju cells. Perhaps I should study Kakashi Hatake's files? He has shown outstanding control of his implant and next to no visible setbacks from using it, stated Kabuto as he moved to the giant file cabinet that had a large leaf symbol above it. There is no need. The reason Kakashi-kun can use it so well is twofold. 1. He only has one implant, and 2. The Hatake clan are blessed with large chakra reserves and outstanding chakra control. Plus the fact that Kakashi's great-grandmother was a Senju helps greatly. Listed off Orochimaru. That is the reason Sakumo was so feared with that damn sword of his. Then, what is my mission? Inquired Kabuto. Find suitable bodies to use for the jutsu. Then go to Konoha and find weak points for the summons to attack, stated Orochimaru. Also, I would like you to tell me all the information you have on that friend of Uzumaki's that is participating in the exams. I can't have Sasuke-kun being tired out when he fights Gaara. Aw yes, I've been meaning to tell you about that. It seems that he appeared in Kumo 2 years ago out of the blue. He held the name of a long-extinct clan, the Dendo or something like that, which I could find no records of, but changed his name to Srigar and entered the academy with the Raikage as his sponsor. The rumor going around is that he was captured by you as a small boy and experimented on until he escaped, though we have no records of him, or even a matching DNA sample that one of our spies managed to obtain of him. He has a somewhat dark aura around him, though he always appears either happy or when fighting, he appears serious, stated Kabuto. I see. I want you to get any information possible on him, as well anyone who has ever escaped from the labs. Cross-check everything. I want to know who this imposter is, and why he uses my name as a shield to his past unknown location. So this is the one? Asked a large blue-eyed man that was wearing all blue. He is powerful, yet extremely unrefined. Just like the last champion, stated a man with brown hair and eyes. He and the man in blue were standing in front of a large crystal dome that sat in the middle of an ever-expansive plain. Trees dotted the landscape, as well as boulders and lakes. Far to the left of them was a canyon. Naruto, I introduce you to the other two guardians. The one in blue is Iroh of the sea, the brunette is Rock of the land, stated Ra, observing Naruto's reactions. None of you are humans. Why do you portray yourselves as such? And why have I been brought here? Questioned Naruto carefully. No, young one, none of us are humans. The only human on this plane is you. As for why you are here, Ra, I believe it should be you who tells him, stated Iroh. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, you have been chosen to become the next champion of your world. The last champion was a man you know as the Sage of Six Paths. Should you pass the final tests, you will take his place, and revive your world from its darkness, stated Ra, who then turned into a 50-foot-tall phoenix. Naruto was shocked when the redhead transformed into a giant flaming orange and red bird, and almost passed out when the other two transformed as well. One into a 70-foot-tall blue dragon and the other a 60-foot-tall lion. These are our true forms. We are the last champion's summons, and since his death, we have been searching for his replacement. Well, not exactly his replacement, more like his successor, as your mission will be far tougher than his ever was, stated Iroh, surprisingly keeping the same if just a bit louder voice. But before you can become champion, you must give up something of your own. Now choose. What do you wish to forfeit in order to become champion? Asked Rock, his giant black eyes staring down at the blonde, observing his every move. Naruto stood absolutely still for almost 10 minutes, absorbing all the information of the last half hour. It took the three guardians by surprise when he suddenly spoke. Fear, pain and hatred. I wish to give up my fear, my pain, and my hatred. The three summons looked to each other, then down at Naruto, when Ra spoke. Why have you chosen those things? I forfeit those things from myself to break my own chain of destruction. Where there is fear, there will always be pain. Where there is pain, there will always be hatred, and hatred will always lead back to fear. Only by ridding myself of all three could I ever become the champion of my world, stated Naruto with absolute conviction. The trio once again all looked at each other. That, young champion, is the correct answer. Higher plane. Seems another champion has been crowned, stated a black spiky-haired man with outrageous muscle tone. Three men sat inside a room that seemed to have no entrances or exits. HMPH. He is strong, and very young. Then again both of our sons were young as well when they were the champions, stated another spiky black-haired man, equally muscular, if shorter. What do you think, Jinso? I believe he will be the greatest of us champions. He truly has a pure, if somewhat misguided heart. It will be interesting to watch my successor fight the evils of our world, stated a tall, buff, spiky white-haired man. He had a beard that reached his midsection and pure white eyes. It still amazes me that you managed to spot him 4 years ago. I can hardly imagine the amount of pride that you're feeling right now, stated the shorter one. Pride? Perhaps an old monkey like you has such use for it, but in my experience, it only leads to suffering. No, I feel no pride in picking the next champion so soon. It's my fault he was put into this situation in the first place. Had my sons not destroyed themselves, this never would have happened, stated Jinso, his pure white eyes staring into space as he remembered his mistake. He started to fade when spoke again. But now, I must go and train the next champion, just as you two trained me. After all, he has such low control of my eyes. He was gone in seconds, leaving the two muscular men alone in the room they inhabited. Hard to believe, isn't it? Centuries of Earth being safe, and now, in less than 300 years, a champion has been needed twice, stated the shorter one. You said it. At least he won't need to fight off the kind of enemies we had to. We both died multiple times, and they just keep getting stronger, remembered the tall one. Yes, and now, our race resurfaces after so long, but so weak. Perhaps I'm wrong. After all, you had no talent at all as a child, and I was Prince, stated the tall one. You're not saying what I think you are, right? You don't think he might be able to ascend you? Asked the taller one. Well, he has the best chance of everyone left to do so. If I remember correctly, your youngest and my oldest both did it at a young age. Perhaps he has just enough in him to do it as well. The shorter one stated. You're getting philosophical again, stated the taller one. Shut up, Keikaro. Guardian plane. Very impressive, stated Iroh as he watched Naruto begin to manipulate pure nature chakra. He's been here for less than a day and he's already grasping the basics. Perhaps he will be able to use a lower level mode by the end of his month? Perhaps. But Kiwabi is already giving him problems. Perhaps we should remove Kiwabi now, stated Ra as he watched Naruto draw nature chakra into his body. It's not Kiwabi that's giving him problems. Well, at least all of his problems, stated Rock, conflict clear in his voice. They watched as Fukasaku cracked him with a staff. Son of a bitch. They heard the blonde shout. You believe the problem is he is yet to be completed, stated Iroh. Yes. For now he will be fine. He should be able to sign the other contracts and even master one of the lower levels. But until we remove Kiwabi and he accepts his darkness back into his life, he will never be able to access true Sage Mode, stated Rock. Naruto began manipulating nature chakra again. What is it you suggest we do? We cannot force him to accept his dark half, and we cannot risk his strength by removing Kiwabi before he can at the very least get a lower level Sage Mode down, stated Iroh. Wait till morning. We will go and see Gaia and he can teach him Toad Mode. That in signing my brother's contract will keep him distracted long enough to prepare to remove Kiwabi, stated Ra, his eyes darting to Naruto who began to glow gold. only for it to recede and Naruto to collapse. Did he just? Yes, I believe he just opened the door. Perhaps as long as we remove Kiwabi he can still master true sage mode, stated Ra. I'll prepare to unseal Gaia. God, this is going to suck. Next day, Naruto and the three guardians were standing in front of a 100-foot tall cliff face that had countless kanji covering its face in a seemingly random pattern. So, this guy was able to give even you three trouble? Asked Naruto. Yes, he was a top-tier battle summon. He was even stronger than Ra's older brother, almost on par with the Buu, stated Iroh as he moved to the cliff face. Ra and Rock moved back to two large pedestals made of marble. Naruto, you might want to move back. I'm not sure if the energy-draining seals were effective enough to actually completely subdue him, so this might get explosive, stated Ra. Naruto ran back behind a large mound of stones and waited for the Toad God to be unsealed. The three guardians began to weave strange symbols and chanting some odd language that Naruto could swore was made up. Then they all shouted barrier release. A huge blast of air came out of the canyon wall and a huge slab of rock disintegrated into nothing more than a mountain of dust as the seals holding Gaia released, sending Naruto flying into the other side of the huge canyon. Naruto felt the earth shake and rattle as he saw a giant dark gray and brown figure lurch slowly from the massive hole in the side of the canyon. Suddenly, the creature stopped, looked around, straightened up to its full height, and belched. Alright, I'm finally free now, right? This isn't like last time when you assholes got drunk and released half the seal? Questioned Gaia, standing easily 60 feet tall and had an almost visible aura of power, his voice deep and ominous, though Naruto could tell he was anything but serious. Kiwabi, where are you? I sense you were here. And where are you three youngins? First Ra, then Iroh and Rock grew to their true form, leaving Naruto stuck in the canyon wall. Iroh was the first to speak. You seem well, Gaia, almost as if you were never crazy. Brutish dragon, you have no right in calling anyone crazy, stated Gaia in a deep and trembling tone. But for your information, yes, I am myself again. Now where is Kiwabi? That goddamned fox better show himself. Lord Gaia, I contain Kiwabi, shouted Naruto, gaining the attention of the mammoth toad. Gaia looked down, spotting a small human with blonde hair. In an instant, Naruto found himself eye level with the mammoth toad, standing in the palm of its massive hand. You say you contain Kiwabi? Yes, was all Naruto was able to sputter out as he looked into the toad's eyes, which were twice the size of his whole body. I like you, kid. Not only do you keep Fuzzball out of trouble, you are also respectful. And if you're with these three, Gaia looked at the three guardians, this boy is the champion, isn't he? That would mean that Jinso has passed. How long was I sealed? Almost 300 years. Much has changed from your time. And yes, young Naruto is the new champion. You have been selected as one of his guardians, as he already holds the Toad contract, stated Ra. I see. It's good to meet you, young one. You will make a fine champion. But for now, I'd like to see what's left of my family, stated Gaia in a somewhat quiet voice. He will make a fine champion. That's odd. I'll have to ask about it later. I wonder if Gamaryu is still alive. And what of my other son? Take young Naruto with you. He is currently training in Senjutsu, and will be learning Toad mode before he learns True mode. You have 3 weeks, stated Iroh. Gaia simply nodded. Let's go, kid. The sooner we start the better. And in a massive plume of smoke, they were gone. That went much better than expected. Should we prepare for the extraction? 1 week later, it had been a trying week for all involved. Naruto had been training under Gaia and Fukasaku in Sage training, though progress was shaky at best. Naruto had easily been able to manipulate the nature chakra around himself, even to the point of being able to absorb it into his own reserves, though that is where his success had abruptly ended. Once the Sage chakra made its way into his body, it would immediately begin to transform Naruto into a toad, forcing Fukasaku to clobber him with his staff, leaving multiple welts on the young champion's head. The toads themselves were having a difficult time adapting to the overwhelming presence of Gaia. Most of the young ones had heard legends of the Toad God, but to actually see the mammoth toad was a whole other ordeal. Most, if not all of the younglings and tadpoles had taken an immediate liking to the massive toad, who surprised everyone by being incredibly skilled in handling beings much smaller than himself, as well as keeping them entertained with tales of his life. It was interesting to say the least. One guy met Bunta and Fukasaku. Bunta turned out to be his grandson, as well as Fukasaku's nephew, much to Naruto's surprise. Even more so when he discovered that Fukasaku was his youngest, and only surviving son. After comparing the sizes of the two, he decided that the mother was either a very large utility toad, or Fukasaku was simply some sort of midget toad. Now Naruto sat still at the top of a forest of extremely tall spikes. Fukasaku in front of him, Gaia laying down outside the spike field, watching intently as the young champion gathered nature chakra for what seemed like the 1000th time this week. The youngling were running around Gaia, some even bold enough to try to climb up him. He found his great-grandson and his friend to be the most energetic of the bunch, often finding their way on top of his head, which Bunta seemed thankful for. Gaia was taken out of his musings when suddenly, Naruto's eyes began to outline ever so slightly in orange, then he started to transform into a toad, and was quickly bashed on the head by his son's staff. He gets so close, I don't understand it. The only thing that should keep him from obtaining Sage Mode at this point should be if he moves, but he stays perfectly still. Thought the toad god inquisitively. Naruto, what does it feel like right before you start to transform? Do you shift at all, or perhaps even a twitch? No, nothing like that. It's weird. I can feel it enter my chakra coils, and after that it starts to slow down, like something else is pushing against it, and right before I start to transform it stops, stated Naruto, looking between Gaia and Fukasaku, only to see a mutual confusion on their faces. Perhaps you are not using enough nature chakra, stated Fukasaku. I believe we may have the same problem, stated Gaia. When was the last time you fought in a battle, and how much of Kawabi's chakra is in your system? Other than training, it would be almost 3 weeks ago, stated Naruto, and I couldn't really tell you. I know that some of his chakra is always leaking into my system, but I haven't used any of it 3 months. I believe you have too much of your own chakra in your system. 2 weeks later. Is he ready? Questioned Ra. Yes, he was able to use Toad mode once he blocked off the Kawabi chakra in his system, stated Gaia. But why is it that he seems incomplete? That's the end, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment.